So one of the things that was annoying me when I was trying to make up the anvil the other day when I was welding was the fact that I had nothing to sit on that was appropriately sized to. It was between the small chair that I had that was far too low and standing. And when you're leaning over like that for an extended period of time with no support on your hands or arms, it makes it very difficult to get an accurate weld or at least stay in a straight line. So what I decided to do was chop up that big thing, that big piece of square tube steel that was originally for the clothesline up there, and I have it. So I'm going to square off. That's going to be the top. I'll have another piece on the opposite side of this, flipped over. I'm going to use these two hooks or hoops that are already there to maybe attach on either a tool rack or a bin, I'd say. And then that's going to be the bottom. I've mitered the corners instead of just bashing them together. It's going to look much better. It'll be nice and strong. I'll have then from, let me see if this is the bottom, I'll have from this point here, it'll come up and then I'll go forward like this for the top. And I have a piece of wood picked out here which is going to make the seat. It's perfect size, nice depth as well, which is pretty cool, and it's dry and it's not rotten as well, which is great. Then I have the anvil here. It's filled with concrete. It's pretty dry at the moment. I left that hole in there so it could seep out any additional water or anything like that, anything that was not that wasn't setting properly. So I have that ready to go almost. So I'll wait for another day before I decide to weld it onto that, but I want to get this thing done first of all. And fantastic, we got some lights. So I have two of these fluorescent tubes in here that I put up earlier on today. So now, even with the door closed, there's actually plenty of light in here now. There's a cable running in there because I'm not grinding or sanding in here because I don't want to keep all this dust. But anyway, you get the idea. There's plenty of light anyway, which is fantastic. The plan is to try and get that done. So then I have a seat for being able to weld the rest of the anvil together, and then I have that nice height then for the future. I have a couple of other little things that I want to do with the seat just to make it kind of look cool. But we'll see when it comes to the end of it anyway. Anyway, that's that. Bye. So I'm out in the second shed beside the one I'm normally working in because I'm doing some grinding and some filing down. So this is where we stand in terms of what needs to be done today. That's the stool anyway. It's really solid. We're sitting on it already. It obviously needs to be finished, but there's a few bits and pieces that needs to be done here. So that I cut these. Couple of pieces like this. I plan to have them something like that, and another set that I have to file down still under like that as well. I think that'll look pretty cool. It's already strong enough. I'm not using them for support or anything like that. It's just going to be an added little feature. I'm going to work on the top as well today. Figure out how to get everything bolted down without having anything coming out from the bottom. These two pieces I just need to file down a little bit because they're going to be a support for the anvil. I just need to grind off this piece here for the anvil as well, and then I'm going to weld it inside. Two other supports I'm going to use here for the legs for the anvil just to raise it up a tiny bit. This is the other set. They're just a tiny bit angled off. Is it this side? No, it's this side, sorry. Yeah, so I just need to file that down just a tiny bit and just take off the edges so I have a clean surface to be able to weld, and then start sticking stuff together. So not long and I'll have a progress update. So this is the end result of the stick welding. There's a couple of little pieces missing out, but I mean, that's not too bad. That's fairly smooth. A lot of filled. And that's fairly smooth as well. It's just difficult to get in there with the grinder. What I forgot completely was that when you do stick, it leaves a slag on it, so you have to chip that off. So when I was looking at it, it looked absolutely atrocious. But it turned out that underneath was actually okay. Well, it wasn't all okay. There was a couple that I had to patch up off camera, but apart from that, that looks okay with me. So now they will go up like this. And we will take this fella here. Oh my god, maybe I can't do this with one arm, but anyway. So essentially, that's what we're looking at. Maybe underneath, but I was thinking here because I get a longer weld along here, and then I can flip it over and do underneath as well. So it's on tight because I'm going to be bashing the crap out of this thing. So that's that done. I have to weld these two little plates on the front, which I'll use the mag as well for. I tried the little ones and they are really good at 60. You can slow down, you can go as fast as you want and fill it out no problem. So I'm going to try the little sticks at 60 and see how we go. By the next time I should have those onto that welded on, and then I'm going to weld the whole lot on. So the anvil should be pretty much finished by the end of today. So the anvil is pretty much done. I don't have an awful lot more to do with it other than just do it a bit of grinding, taking out some of the welds and give it a paint. It's gone black, obviously. The chair is getting better, I guess. I added a couple of little pieces, some sprockets, some pieces of sprockets, just to, not for reinforcement or anything like that, they just look cool. So I'll spray them up. They were tigged as well, I didn't make them. Oh, I didn't stick them. I'll spray them up when things are finished. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on the seat. So I gotta get the trimmed down, sanded and sized. I'll then figure out a way to actually bolt it onto it, so I'll come back on after that. Just a final update video on the little stool. So it's been topped with the wood. It's oak on top. I painted up the frame. I ground off with a flap disc to the sprockets so they have a different shine. It was primed, then I went over with a matte satin black, a couple of lines of red, and then I hit the grinder with a flap disc again to make a couple of marks so it doesn't look like it's just standard or, you know, too perfect. I wanted a kind of rough looking as well. I'm going to leave it just like that. There was a few other things I wanted to do with it or planned to do with it, but I don't think so. The top is burned so shuggy ban, I think it's called, the way you do it. Good girl. Burn. Then you come off it with a hard brush, steel brush, and it leaves a lovely grain, and a lovely feeling, and a lovely look as well. So they were old oak floorboards, and that's how it turned out. So I'm very, very happy with that. I was going to bolt them through. There was a few things I didn't think of before I did it, but by closing up or by mitering the corners, I wasn't able to get a hole made in so I can stick a bolt. I should have done that before I actually put it together, but I wasn't sure how I wanted to mount this. That way I could have had bolts bringing this down. And with the steel rim, this rusty rim that I wanted to sand down and paint black, with old looking bolts on top of it that I would have beaten with the hammer on the anvil so that they look like they're studs in a sense. But I said I just leave it like that. This little job, it's just for me to sit on, nice height for when I'm welding, and it's done. So it's not stained or anything like that. It's quite literally just burned and scraped. Lovely finish. I'll definitely be doing this again, and that's that. So looks pretty cool. But one of the things actually, this is pretty cool. I was testing out one of the sprays on the underside. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not very bright. But it was a red spray that I put on it, and I did the social ban on it as well. And when I sprayed it off, it left everything kind of dark like this, but also with like red undertones, and it was really, really nice. But I'd already done this, and the top I was happy with. So next one I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to spray it down, I'm going to burn it, and I'm going to scrape off all the high level, which will leave some red or whatever colour I decide to go in the middle of the grain, and go from there. I think the anvil, I've already updated on that anyway. So yeah, the anvil's just sprayed black, lacquered. I think I lacquered it anyway, I can't remember. It's not going to be out in the rain anyway. I just need to put some little feet on it to stop it scraping around the ground. But apart from that, it works fine, and I've been using it quite a bit now with this alien. So yeah, that's that.